What gives you anxiety? Time. Edit. Also, the parking situation at places I haven't been to. I have huge anxiety about wasting time and money. I feel like it makes my days off not really a break, because I'm so worried about getting the most out of my day off. At work I feel like, if I do not use every second to do everything I can, I'm not using my work time properly. This same anxiety comes to me with money. I feel like, if I'm not saving every penny and investing it, I'm not making the most out of the money I'm earning. It's this mindset that caused me to invest my life savings into stocks and securities I did not understand at all. And I lost a whole year's worth of my savings mid-January. It's been a very steep climb since then, but I think I'm a lot better for it in terms of anxiety from these two fields. The future. It's causing sleepless nights. Gestures vaguely at everything. Anytime the phone rings. When someone I don't talk to messages me, hey, those people typically want me to answer questions about their broken car I told them not to buy when they asked for advice. Why are you so quiet? Say something. Taxes. We need to talk. I've realized lately that most if not all of my anxiety stems from comparing myself to others. I'm 32. Do not own the house I live in. Not married to the man I live with. Have not pushed any kids of my vagina. And do not make a lot of money at work. So when I feel anxiety, it's usually because there is this voice in my head telling me I'm doing something wrong or I'm worried about something in the future. I'm learning to listen to that voice and tell it that I'm rather happy with what I have in my life right now, because I'm actually much more free than many other people my same age. Whenever I George Costanza my way into a job or gig I am wildly underqualified, then realize I have to George Costanza my way out or somehow finish the job or task. I am not even sure how I keep finding myself in these situations. Pretty much everything. But one of the worst is trying new things, or people forcing me to socialize. Do not let people force you to do anything. I'm definitely an introvert, but the past year or so I've opened up and been able to make small talk to strangers. I was happy when I did it without a drink. Do what's right for you. While learning to make small talk is difficult, it's a great skill to have when you want to get to know someone. Cancer. Duck cancer. Being late. I have to be early or exactly on time. I do not really know why. If I'm on time, my brain is already convinced I'm late. What the actual duck happens when we die? Like, yay. The thought that eventually you will no longer exist, and then the thought that it is forever. You will never live again. And eventually there will actually be nothing at all. No earth. No people. No stars. Once you die there pretty much ceases to be anything. Not black. Not space. There will be nothing. You are gone forever. Then everything will be gone. You do not come back. There is no second chance. When you re-gone you are gone. And essentially everything is gone for eternity. Brain cannot handle it. And most people do not seem to be able to wrap their mind around it. People. For me it is family. Coworkers and people I know. Mostly did I say, do not do something wrong? Should I reach out to them? Or take the hint that, since they don't reach out to me, they don't want to hear from me? Decisions. This is tough to advise you for. But I'm like this too. One thing I've read is to flip a coin. Generally if you really know what you want to do you lines grab the coin midair and know what you want. The reality though is that you no matter where life takes you. Make the bad decision and enjoy the ride. Existing within a mile of a cop. Not even doing anything illegal. Or even a reason to think they'd go for me. It's just oh shit. It's the cops. I have no clue why. I was that way too. It is because my parents raised me that way. Not explicitly. Very implicitly. I had to grow out of it. I wasn't raised that way at all. I was raised to respect authority and crap, which means I do not do that at all. Barely ever did. I have nothing against cops in particular. More of a hater of administrative types. But I always get that weird feeling. Talking on the phone. Having to ask someone for something. Especially in person. Driving somewhere new and not knowing the parking situation. Wondering if I said anything cringy or weird. I could go on. The possibility of failure. The possibility of something going wrong for someone else that I could have changed. The possibility that I line screw up again. The possibility that I could wake up one day and everything I've ever loved be gone or forgotten. The possibility that our lines never do better. Life. Getting a call from my ex. He thinks we recall despite the fact that every time I talk to him, he upsets me in some way. Are you able to block their number? I can. But usually I just ignore the call. I'm at the point where I would like to explain exactly how I feel and or cut ties. But many of my social activities during the pandemic involve my ex. And he is bearable in a group setting. I did more than likely have to give those activities up, and I'm not socially adept enough to quickly replace them. My dad and my mom are sort of like you and your ex from what it sounds like. But honestly, I recommend cutting ties as soon as possible. My mom had dealt with my dad being an ass for so long that it kept eating at her confidence. Cutting ties as soon as possible and carrying on with life is probably the best choice. Loud, unexpected noises, relentless, droning noises. Most of my panic attacks are triggered by noise overload. Same with me. I realized that not hearing the world makes it less scary. What helped me is wearing headphones most of the time in the outside world. I bought noise cancelling earphones, and it was the best decision ever. If I am stressed, I even wear them home alone without music, just to have perfectly quiet break. People my age college running around and laughing screaming in the halls of my apartment building while I am just trying to be peaceful and alone. College is a strange time. People are without adult supervision for the first time and we try to make college friends. Some of them are the best friends you lines ever make. And networking is great after college. But yeah, immaturity at college is annoying AF. The gradual unraveling of civilization that is taking place around us. Once the brain chemicals ramp up, just about anything. Most likely culprit is anything related to death. Particularly heart attack or stroke. Which I think is a splash of PTSD from a really bad panic attack I had a few years ago. Sometimes social situations. Other people getting hurt. etc. Good times. Unfamiliar situations in which I have to talk to people, such as ordering at a restaurant that I've never been to before. Making a phone call to the dentist's office to make an appointment, or interacting with any customer service roles. I have to run the conversation through my head a couple times before to make sure I know what to say and kinda like hype myself up enough to push through my anxieties. Everything stressful gives me anxiety. Letting people down, being late, messing something up, money, bills and not having enough for food. The only thing that helps my anxiety is nicotine. But when I don't have it, it's a weird day. Most people hear nicotine and think it's just absolutely terrible, but nicotine is actually a very good stress reliever and it helps you stay focused better. I also have signs of ADHD, and so it helps me out there too. Literally everything but the one people who don't share it find stupid is plans changing halfway through going somewhere, then on the way deciding to go somewhere else, never go to a secondary location. Thinking up random scenarios for situations that probably will never happen. Been working activity on noticing and stopping myself, and it has honestly been very freeing. The fact I've been to the hospital twice with heart palpitations in the last 4 days and being told it's uncomfortable, I am sure, but it's not going to kill you. Dude, I can feel my heartbeat in my teeth when I lay down. My hours easily breaks into the 95-99 region for no reason, and your best advice is it won't kill you. But you should see if your insurance can pay for a visit to a cardiologist. Duck my life. I am honestly hoping I just go in my sleep so I can stop waking up thinking yup. Today is the day I go into full-on cardiac arrest. I used to get that before I started running. I would exercise, like really work up a sweat. Most people go to the hospital with heart palpitations are just having anxiety. If they hook you up to an EKG and you look fine, it's probably that. Due dates. Once I know something is due, I cannot rest until I have it done at least 3 days early. Whenever movies or TV shows have moments that are awkward, whether intentional or not, I cannot stand it. It makes my skin crawl. My friend who has been talking about self-harm and I'm getting progressively more and more worried. And I know she is going through a lot right now. And I can be there to help her. But everything she says makes me scared that I am never gonna see her again. Everything that can cause me any sort or inconvenience or anything in general that is different or out of my control. Also, if this were pre-2020, I'd say going anywhere new with girlfriends and not knowing what they're wearing. Are we doing leggings or cocktail dresses? COVID restrictions have been a saving grace of my social anxiety. School. School gives me anxiety. I do not have friends there. I feel anxious about raising my hand and then saying something that makes me look stupid. I get tons of homework every single day. I'm scared of not understanding the subjects, which is quite hard since I've been having concentration problems lately. Also, just the thought of starting a conversation with someone I do not know makes me feel a squeeze in the chest, and the only person I talk frequently to is a girl of my classroom. But I do not know if I can trust her. Do not ask me why, because I do not know either. And to make it even worse, I never get enough sleep because I have to wake up early to school and have a tough home life. Every Sunday I keep thinking about school and it makes me anxious. And every Sunday night I get in a depressed mood. If I could erase school out of my life, I did do it. Also, English is not my native language. Feel free to correct me. Life. It's scary. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. And it's completely worth it. I still have to psych myself up each day. Look at me. We did this thing yesterday and we lines do it again tomorrow. It's time to do it today. Death. I constantly feel like the car crash, cancer diagnosis, whatever, is just days away. I want to live, but I am so afraid of dying that I feel like I'm not living presently enough. Climate change. I feel like any other problem in the world, the rise of troublesome political ideologies, injustice based on race or religion, toxic cultural movements. I can hope that someday it lines get better, even if it gets worse first. Even if I do not live to see it get better, I can still hope that it will eventually be better. But climate change, it keeps getting worse faster than predicted, and everything being done just feels like too little, too late, and it's just so final. It lines literally render the planet uninhabitable for most current forms of life, us included, and by all appearances, I will get to live through a good chunk of the worst of it. Not completing tasks the same day they were assigned. This is something that gave me anxiety when I was younger and still does now. I always stayed up until midnight trying to complete my homework as a kid, even when the deadline was until a week later. Never really understood why this makes anxious. Getting ready for work. I wake up 3 hours early and only have a 30-minute commute. People who take less than 30 minutes to get ready are crazy to me. I have no hair, so that means no time doing that. I spend roughly 40 minutes just making sure I have fresh breath. Now that I think about it, the fear of smelling bad is what gives me the most anxiety. Now that I think about it, the fear of smelling bad is what gives me the most anxiety. I have this fear in the back of my mind sometimes. Did I wipe properly? How much deodorant do I need? The other day I was hanging out with someone I'm kinda sorta not really holding on to, and she works at this shop where the boss gave me this soap dish they probably weren't selling or ordered too many. The lady in question said that I was given it because I need soap. She is the type to tease and joke around, so I just laughed at it and brought up a time I bought deodorant. But in the back of my mind I was like, no, she thinks I smell. Anyway, I would not worry about bad breath for 40 minutes. Personally, can you eat a mint or two on your commute? The better question is, what does not give you anxiety? Because I think predictability is the only thing I'm down for. Anything I cannot predict, and therefore at least somewhat control, gives me anxiety. I'm learning to stop doing that, because I cannot reasonably control the universe. Yet, or ever. Unless someone wants to constantly go back in time to stop me from becoming a magical girl. The fact that I work out, cultivate my own interests, passions, have a good and meaningful job, would be considered conventionally attractive. Do my utmost to be kind and engaged in others' lives, and will almost certainly wind up alone due to a number of relationship phobias deeply founded in the empirical past. The fact that I'll be 22 soon and have no work experience at all. I can't go back to school unless I pay off an overdue tuition bill. I would have graduated this May, but I've been screwing around trying to transfer to be with my boyfriend across the country, which I am not doing now because it's too expensive. Now I am technically a sophomore at most. I have about 3 years left of school. My boyfriend and I have been long distance for 4 years and haven't seen each other in a year and a half. And we lines probably be apart for 4 more. I have 100 hours of volunteering to do before May, so I am not suspended from a university I probably won't ever go back to anyway, and I need to clean my room. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.